What is going on, guys? It's the Nightwing at Way of Life Esports coming at you guys with another League of Legends video here today. This is the C9FanCast Season 1 Episode 17. We are joined here by two newer guys. TSM logo. TSM sucks. I'm just kidding. And we are joined here by an actual professional color caster. So, yeah, introduce yourself. And, yeah, what do you cast? What is your job? How do you enjoy it? How did you get into it? And then we can go to the 2020 off season, because that's going to be a lot of craziness. Jensen has a 4.2 million contract extension. Oh, my God. And then Bjergsen retired, as you guys already knew. The World 2020 semifinals. The World 2020 finals is happening this week, where Damwon will literally open the asshole of Suning and destroy them. So, I'll have my predictions right, and I'll predict the 2020 World Championship winner. But how are you guys doing this week? What's up? What's going on?
Oh,
Yeah, just chilling.
Big chilling.
Big chilling. Oh my God.
Just finished classes, so in the grind.
I mean, it's literally -6 here in Canada. So
how are you alive?
I got you all beat.
How are you alive?
I don't know.
-6 by which metric? Is it Celsius? Because that's pretty bad.
Yeah, we're recreating 2012 currently. IRL, it's really crazy down here, but not as crazy as the off-season moves. I mean,
Oh yeah,
they're getting spicy.
Okay, so which one do you guys want to go over first? So I think Jensen is going to be the big one, because Jensen has the highest contract now in LCS history with his extension with Team Liquid for 4.3 million, 4.2 million, 4.2 million. Holy, that's
4.2 million over the course of 3 years, which is.
Here's the thing. I think it's overpaid, but if anyone's gonna get that contract, it should probably be Jensen.
For me, I don't think he's overpaid. Actually, I don't think he's overpaid in terms of he's always been internationally good, except for 2019 where he kind of shit the bed. Other than that, I think he's been better than Bjergsen in a lot of splits where he had worse teammates. I think he's shown internationally that he's our best mid laner. I think after all these years, he's deserved it. That's just me personally. Even after meeting him and talking to him, he's a really great player, and I think that personally, this will set him up to potentially be the franchise player. But I just want to see your guys' opinions on this exactly, because, I already did a video on this, so everyone already knows my thoughts about this.
Yeah, I was just saying, I don't think anyone should be paid that much, at least in North America. I was just saying, if you have to give that money to somebody in North America, Jensen's probably one of the first people I would think to give it to. That's all I was saying. Okay. He's definitely one of the best mid laners we've ever had, so... And he's going to continue to be so. He was about as good as he's always been this year, so I don't see him degrading at all. So I think the actual, securing of the roster slot's a pretty good move.
Why can't C9 just get Power of Evil? I would definitely want to upgrade Niski and just upgrade Niski with Power of Evil. That's what I would do personally. But
I mean, Power of Evil had a really good split, for sure. But there was a solid, 3 splits pack where he just was getting stomped on. So, I mean, if Power of Evil continues in the form that he is right now, I could consider that an upgrade. But, discounting Niski, the entire C9 roster shit the bed in the latter half of the split. So I wouldn't necessarily pin that on Niski. I personally am of the opinion that it was actually more this shift in the meta that kind of messed with them a little bit. Because they went from this really dominant roaming style team to suddenly having to fall back on the old let's just wait around until the other team makes a mistake, which TSM and Liquid are superior in doing because that's all they ever do. So I don't think Niski for Power of Evil would necessarily be a good switch. That being said, back to the original topic of Jensen getting 4.2 million.
Yeah.
The crazy part for me there is the fact that there is no buyout clause in that. If it was 4.2 and another team was also including I don't know, a 1.2 or what did Vulcan get traded for? I think it was a 1 something million.
1.2 million.
1.2 million buyout contract with another 2 point whatever million on top of that as a 3-year term. I could believe that, but 4.2 is just guys, please.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. It's are you gonna pay the rest of your team? Like what?
No, they're getting scraps. They're gonna have to go to the unemployment office. Actually, what do you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
What?
Like,
I read somewhere that the entire G2 roster is valued at, or their paid contracts are valued in a total of something like 2.8 million for the entire thing. I read that in one of the articles. Not 100% sure if that's true, but if it is true, 2.8 million euros for an entire team versus 4.2 for Jensen. I'd take the entirety of G2 over Jensen any freaking day of the week.
Wait, hold on. Is that like the yearly salary or the sum total of their contracts?
I think combined.
I believe they were stated that it was combined total of 2.8 million for G2. Yeah. Now, even if we put that into euros, like 2.8 million euros, it's still like Jensen versus G2. It's like,
hey,
yeah.
the North American titles are really great, man. They mean so much in the grand scheme of things.
Oh yeah, tell you, as a C9 fan, I'm so glad I got this spring split trophy and I'm not playing the Worlds. Let me tell you how excited I am about that.
Yeah, I will say in regards to Jensen, I think the problem with North America as fans, we hear the name Bjergsen and it's like a staple. Even though Jensen has more accomplishments, has achieved more internationally, even domestically, that's the reason why Jensen gets overlooked. And the thing is, Steve, he really wants to, as you can tell, since the last 2 years, he wants to win, succeed internationally. Like, you wouldn't go for Alfari if you thought that you couldn't win Worlds and succeed. So I think it's okay. The thought about Power Evil, considering, look at Power Evil when he came here, he's actually been pretty successful. He helped let's say a dumpster fire of a CLG team. He almost got Optic the year before into playoffs. They know his champion pool, but even at the current Worlds, he performed pretty well considering the pool of people he had to face in his group. So I'd be okay with Power Evil as a Niski replacement. In that regard, but do I agree with the being paid too much? Of course, I think there should be a salary cap, kind of like current sports, but I don't know how you guys feel about that.
I mean, it would definitely help in legitimizing League of Legends without even being able to follow with the franchise league format that Overwatch League put forward. The North American League of Legends needs to start taking some notes from OG sports. Salary cap is definitely one thing, and even then, the idea of a franchise player, when we look at sports, you have to be one of the greatest of all time to earn the title of franchise player, to be getting these kind of lucrative contracts that people just look at and it's like, you know what? For that one player, if Jensen was the Wayne Gretzky of League of Legends, which he's not, then I would be like, you know what? 4.2, go for it. But he's not. It's like, yeah, Jensen's a great player and he's got a decent social media following and everything else, but is he worth 4.2 million? Maybe to Liquid he is. Maybe they know something that we don't, where they're like, oh yeah, no, having Jensen here, even if he's not performing top slot, he's still gonna rake us in that dough. He's still gonna get us those fat stacks later on. That's the only thing that I could really think of that would be like driving that sort of salary.
Here's the thing about Jensen.
You go.
Is that Jensen doesn't do that though. He's a great player, but he's not like this social media star. Like, he's not like Sneaky was, right? Where Sneaky had his own cult following that just watched everything he did, right? So having Sneaky on your team literally paid for itself almost in all of the merchandise his fans would buy. I just don't see the same thing with Jensen.
He means he was a sneaky cult follower. Just kidding.
I mean, there were definitely players like that. A lot
No,
of,
yeah,
like,
you're
the
right.
OG
Bjergsen,
Dignitas players were
yeah,
like that.
Big Bjergsen had a cult following. Faker definitely has a fat one. Oh my God, Faker can't do no wrong. Like Faker is
Right.
literally God. I mean, that's true in League, but
Afromu is one of those guys.
Mhm.
But Jensen just isn't one of those guys. I don't think.
I think in terms of the 4.2, I think one other thing that I think Steve or Team Liquid did consider a lot is that having such a player draws other players towards the team, right? So I think TL, they're pretty secure with their bot lane unless they decide to upgrade tactical maybe. But I definitely think that they want to move junglers, right? And if the rumors about Alphari is true, then that means they have to have a native jungler. And the name that's being tossed a lot is Santorin, right? And I do think that to attract Alphari in the first place, and then to attract Santorin, they need someone to say, hey, you secured the bag. And I think Jensen recognizes it too, right? So I think, is he worth 4.2 in that sense? Not necessarily, but if you have to add all the other factors with him in comparison with other mids in NA, and what he can draw towards other players towards TL, I think the 4.2 is more reasonable in that.
So I personally think that having Jensen does draw bigger players because we've heard a lot of players talk about, well, I want to play with that guy because he's really good. And Jensen also, by the ESPN recent report, it said that he wanted to play with the new jungler. So, Jensen casually throwing shade all the time, throwing shade at Broxah, saying he wasn't good. He wants to play with Santorin. Now, Santorin has the reputation of always playing towards his mid laner. So if you're Jensen, you want to have a player like Santorin. But overall, does that make TL better? So if you look at TL's roster from what has been considered from all-season rumors, Alphari, Santorin, Jensen, and Tactical, and Core JJ, does that really fix their slow pace issues? I don't know.
I think it depends because the problem they had was Impact was very limited in his champion pool, and if you watched Alphari, I watch a lot of LEC and LPL. I do watch TSM because I'm a fan, but outside of that, he can play carries. He's always dominant in the lane. He always his GP is super clean. Is one thing I've noticed, and it gives them more options. Not to go off topic, but if you've seen in the current from play-ins to now the finals, top lane is probably the most important role this season, and people have undervalued it due to many things. But when you have an option, when now you have three options now, you can go like, okay, for one game we'll play mid lane, they can do weak side, because think about it, Core JJ and Tactical, they did pretty good for a rookie. They did pretty good, so they're fine. They have their bot lane. I think that's perfect. I think it gives more draft wise. It helps them. I think in the long run, it's just going to be they can do more things. They can maybe even break out of it, depending upon their coach. I don't know who their current coach is.
Oh,
I believe isn't their coach still Jad, or did that get?
Yeah, their coach is still Jet.
Yeah.
Their head analyst is with Kane, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Dodo, Jack, Kane, and Dodo. I personally think that I like Alphari dude too. I think Alphari is great. I've watched him since he was on Misfits. He is a fantastic top laner. I don't really care what people say about, oh, he shit the bed on Origin in this past split. I mean, yeah, they're just all bad. It happens to players. People just have bad splits. But I don't look at having a bad split like that's your whole career. Alphari's been a great mechanical top laner. His CSing is, from what I noticed, this is just from me, CSing's always pretty much on point. He's always pushing his laner back. He does play with his jungler a little bit. I think that's something he needs to work on, is when to call for ganks and resources. And he does have a problem when it comes to a certain meta top laner. He'll consistently play it even though it's not the best pick. Like we saw him in the LEC 2020 split that just happened. He would consistently play Aatrox, and I mean Aatrox was out of the meta at that point, and he was the only carry because Upset was pretty much dead in the water. Nuke Duck was, I guess, non-existent. Xerxes was worse than Santorin, which should make sense, but it happened. And then you also had Destiny, and he was from Oceania, so you already know how bad that went. I think that Alphari will be good for TL internationally, but then again, Santorin is, I don't think, it's a love-hate relationship I have with the guy. He can be really good when it comes to playing towards one lane, but in terms of like if you want to win worlds, which is what Steve wants, I don't think Santorin's your guy. Like we saw in the very first game of Worlds 2020 when he played against Carsa, he got blown out, he just destroyed. They all lost in 3 minutes. They loaded up, lost. That's as bad. That's bad as me when I play. I load up and I lose. They actually lost in 3 minutes, and it was because of Santorin, obviously. But yeah, you have to kind of look at the whole scope. He got out jungled by what's his name, Piosik. He was only just better than Anatik, and I don't think that's a really big standout thing. Like, if I'm Steve and I'm looking at junglers, I don't really think Santorin would have been the best option, even though Jensen was obviously fighting for him, you know. But hey, if he's going to be your franchise player, I guess you have to listen to him at this point. But I would not have chosen Santorin as my first choice. Not saying he's bad, he just wouldn't have been my first choice, though, you know. But what do you guys think about Santorin potentially being on Team Liquid? Do you think that's going to be better for them than Broxa?
It's a tough one, man. Like, Broxa, I hate to give the guy a huge amount of flack.
Give him flack, please.
Definitely underperformed.
Give him flack, please. Roast him. Come on, dude. Do it. Do it.
The problem is Broxa, like, we've seen what he can do when he's in form. He is insane. And in theory, Broxa versus Santorin, I would take Broxa. Just straight up. Santorin, I would say is kind of the safer pick. It would be like Svenskeren versus Blabber when they were swapping. Sure, you have a potential carry in the jungle, or you have someone who is going to play around the lanes a little bit more. For me, I would take the aggressive and more risk-taking style of Broxen a lot more than Santorin's play, just straight up.
So I personally think they should have grabbed Svenskeren. I think they should have grabbed him overall. If you could buy him out, I think Svenskeren would have been. Imagine Svenskeren, Alfari, and Jensen as a top side. That'd be great actually, because Jensen had success with Svenskeren in the past. I don't really see why he chose Santorin. I guess he thinks that. I mean, Svenskeren does have those inconsistencies where like he's really good one split, kind of off the next split, good one split, off the next split. Maybe that was the reason, but I think their personal first pick should have been. Maybe if Cloud9 wanted to offer Blabber, do that, or maybe you go with Svenskeren. Because I don't think that Santorin fixes their playstyle, because people are going to watch this and go, you're a Santorin hater. No, I think Santorin doesn't fix their playstyle. You don't need Santorin. You just don't. I don't think he fixes your playstyle, and I think you get worse with him over time if you want to be a faster-paced team.
All right, I'm just gonna throw out something. You guys were talking about Alfari being the potential, or there's a lot of rumors around Alfari being picked up by Team Liquid. My question is why they're not considering Licorice.
Right! Yeah. Thank you! What?
Like, yeah, he's muted.
Oh,
yeah, you're muted, man. You're muted.
Oh, thank you! Thank you! Why don't everyone in the C9 fan group was like, you should go to FlyQuest. FlyQuest are our brothers. Oh my god. Licorice on Team Liquid is like, hey, here's $1 million, Licorice. Come join our team.
I'm not convinced that FlyQuest with Licorice isn't better than TL with Licorice.
I think my hot take is that FlyQuest is just gonna be like an eighth or seventh seed team at this point.
What the hell?
You're muted again.
Wait, what? Well, you think they're gonna be that bad? Why?
Well, they're gonna get castrated.
I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking around with you guys. You guys know I'm just kidding. It's potential. I mean, FlyQuest are a team where they're up. I can never pinpoint consistency with them. This year, they showed they can have consistency with their rebrand, and you have the new CEO coming in. So I'm optimistic now, but I can understand, like, I've been watching them since they came into the league. They're up and down, and even this past year, they were up and down to a certain point, but they proved that now they're clutch. But if you're Team Liquid, honestly, if you couldn't get Alfari, Licorice should have been like, hey, Jack, there's a check. There you go. Hey, you're on my team. Why would Licorice not want to play with Jensen, the person he went to semifinals with? That just doesn't seem logical. He's never spoken bad about Licorice at all. He only spoke bad about Reaper and Reaper's coaching, and then some of the players not being that strong, like Sneaky. So other than that, I mean, I don't know why Team Liquid wouldn't pick Licorice, but Alfari's fine if you couldn't get Licorice because maybe he wanted to go to some other team. That's fine. Alfari's a good player in and of itself, but...
And then we're not even, like... the move with Licorice and Fudge, like, that had everyone up in arms. people really undervalued, or at least maybe they just didn't realize how freaking good some of the Oceanic players are.
Right?
And now they don't take up an import slot.
It's true.
There is no reason that these Oceanic players should be struggling to get teams. Like, just straight up. So I expect a lot of I expect that we're going to see a lot of moves that we originally thought were like slam dunks. Now that this Oceanic League shutdown is officially announced, I think that there's going to be all the teams are just going to be like putting a massive dead stop in whatever trades they were kind of exploring and just be like, okay, we're going to take a minute and we're just going to explore the fact that now we have an entire region of players, good players, that a lot of the time can outperform a lot of their NA counterparts. And we're going to have to take a damn hard look at who's available now as a local rather than as an import slot. Like, I think we're going to see a lot of moves there.
I think that's a very optimistic view of looking at team owners. I think a lot of the team owners in GM have shown throughout the years that they're willing to take a risk in Golden Glue, Deathly, and Apollo again over some new players. Like, obviously, I hope that they give like Oceanic players or Academy players chances, right? But it's like year in, year out, we still get the same garbage players in the bottom team, and like they go out for 1 year and then they come back the next year. So hopefully this year will be different, and I pray that it is different. But I'm not too optimistic with the people in charge of these teams and their roster.
I don't know. It seems like recently that culture has been changing. What with C9's been doing it for years.
I mean, Jet or shit, not Jet. Man, Jack. That's the word.
Yeah,
too many
Jack.
J's. There's way too many J's.
Yeah.
Jack literally tweets out calling out the entirety of NA, and it's like, okay, guys, okay, when's the change going to happen? By the way, random thing on the topic of C9, y'all are talking about Power of Evil as a potential replacement for Niski. What about the perks rumors?
Yeah,
we'll get into that. Yeah, so are we done with the Team Liquid stuff?
Hold on. By the way, I have complete faith in the Fudge pick because listen, I've been around as a C9 fan for long enough to know that they don't make these moves for no fucking reason. At this point, I'm sure Fudge. Yeah, no, Fudge. I trust that Fudge is really good. They wouldn't cut Licorice if they weren't sure that Fudge was the next big thing.
Just imagine this. They could have Fudge and Licorice. Dude, that sounds so great. Having Licorice and Fudge and eating it. Woo, my God.
Paul, what type of licorice?
Black licorice? Ew, that's disgusting. What are you, an 80-year-old grandma? That's disgusting. Red licorice. Oh my God. But hard fudge with nuts in it. Oh my God, that sounds great. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Overall, everything people said about Licorice was said about Fudge. Oh, is he going to be able to perform? Is he going to be able to handle the LCS? Hey, Licorice did it. I'm not saying this will just happen because A + 1 = B or 2 + 2 = 4. Not that, but C9's always lost the offseason. I'm ready for them to lose the offseason again. But overall, I hope he is good. I saw him in Academy. He performed really well. So I'm optimistic on, letting him grow for a split. Licorice had it where he grew for a split and then turned into the best top laner. So I'm not saying that'll happen, but hey, C9 has proven they know what they're doing at most situations.
I have just accepted C9's role in the league to develop the players and then release them into the wild to make the rest of the teams better. I have accepted our role.
Jack's like breeding alligators and just dispersing them all.
In regards to perks, I can see him more going over to Fnatic than to C9 because he has that EU. He has that true EU pride. If you guys know what I'm kind of talking about, and you can tell that he wants to win worlds. Considering this year,
so bad, man. I feel bad for him.
Yeah, this year with his dad passing, I mean that must have been rough. Right there. And think about what he was able to do to sort of quote unquote poach, though we can't confirm with that. With that team that he that super team he put together with G2, I just can't. I could see him more going to Fnatic than going to C9. I mean, if the C9
hear me out. Hear me out. You know what NA has that EU doesn't?
Money.
Don't say it. Don't
Money,
say it, man.
boy.
Oh god.
We have homegrown talent.
Money,
we
money,
got,
money, money,
we
money.
got La Tigress.
bills.
We got La Tigress. She's really attractive, dude. We have attractive women in LA, dude. Let me tell you about them LA women. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Those women are all thoughts, man.
What about this question? If Jensen can get 4.2 in NA, how much do you think Perks can get?
6 million. I'm just kidding. I was throwing a number out. NA's crazy with people. Okay, so
I don't know. That's the thing is, do I think any team could realistically support anything more than Jensen got? No. Was that going to stop them? Is that going to stop anybody from giving it to him? I don't think so. So like,
as you guys know, there's lots of rumors surrounding Fnatic and G2. So one of them is Nemesis is getting kicked, and they might be replacing him with a new mid laner. They are talking about that guy Blue, but Blue is in serious talks with SK Gaming. Or you have Magic Felix, which some people said has issues with stage games when it comes to high pressure moments. Or you get Leader. Leader was the guy who got screwed over by Misfits. I think Leader would be a good fit for Fnatic, honestly. I agree with Warren. I think after being a G2 fan myself for a long time, I just couldn't see him going to North America. Like, you would legitimately be trolling if you went to North America. No, it's no offense to the LCS. I'm just saying, like, literally, Fnatic have consistently gone out of groups outside of 2014 group stage, and they bitched the World Finals. They've always produced titles up until 2018 when G2 got their super team that following year. I think that if he wants to go to Worlds, or at least guarantee a spot to potentially set himself up in 2021 to go to Worlds, just go to Fnatic. Just go there. Yeah. Why would he go to North America? Like, I mean, like, I could see him going here for a split, hating it, and leaving and coming back. I think that'd just be a waste of time. Just stay there, go to Fnatic. Nemesis can go on freaking Team Vitality for all I care.
Yeah, other people say rumor that they'll be kicking Nemesis, and I'm like, wait, it's a rumor? That wasn't a foregone conclusion?
You know, Fnatic always changes out the roster. I mean, even if he's changed out, I'm not surprised. Like, they always change up the roster anyway. Like, it kind of feels bad for Whipple that article came out, and they were literally admitting they were looking for a new top laner. Oh my god.
Yeah, he kind of got trashed.
Like,
dude, on hard.
The same thing with Broxa. Jensen was like, "Yeah, I want a stronger jungler." Oh my god, people! It's all the shade getting thrown. Oh my god.
But yeah, I think it's just gonna be Perks going over to Fnatic. It seems like the most natural fit, honestly. So after all this time, Caps will be on G2, and then Perks will be on Fnatic. And then
dude,
the swap.
What a way to cement your legacy as one of the best Western players of all time. The heck?
Yeah. Play for G2 and Fnatic in the EU. The two historically best teams play for both of them, win titles on both of them.
What do you guys think of possibly Upset being part of G2? How much of an upgrade do you think that is?
Well, you know, I think Upset has the like kind of like a curse, like, you know, kind of like Knight. Before, because everybody was like, "Oh, we would love to see Knight at Worlds." Knight finally gets to Worlds, does great in groups, and then Knight kind of doesn't do well in the match throughout the playoffs. So Upset has that, like, he's been to the finals in EU, but hasn't gotten any world stage. I think it would be good. He's mechanically good. He's shown that he can play mages. I have no problem with that. And considering that Origin played a lot of I can't even say they played weak side from what their coach was weird.
They're a permanent weak side team. They're permanently brain dead in a lot of their traps.
Yeah, I think Upset is because he's a true AD carry. You know, Perks is good, but I would still like Reckless. Like, think about Reckless. Like, he's a true AD carry, like, to the point where the guy sat himself down at once. He's like, "Hey, bro, I'm not doing mages. I'm gonna pew pew with a bow and arrow gun." You know what I mean? So, that's kind of how I see Upset. But he has some wiggle room. But yeah, that's my take on that.
Oh, For me, an upset, I think upset is actually good. I think a lot of people underrate him because he hasn't really been able to get a team that can showcase his strength. I guess Origin could have been that team, but people got to look at how bad Origin would draft, how slow they would play, a lot of inconsistencies in their macro play. They would always have this play style where they could have a fast-paced comp, not really play it to the full extent, and then you also had periods and points where some of the players just completely just were shitting the bed, not even really even giving the most from what I could see from their games. I think upset going to G2, it's an upgrade. It's definitely an upgrade over Perk's ADC because everyone knew that, you know, at a certain point, Perk's would go back to the mid lane. And I think if you want to upgrade ADC, you get upset, Hans-Sama.
God.
Correct.
Shut down.
No, you don't go get Hans-Sama. What are you talking about?
What do you mean? Hans-Sama's a great ADC. Oh my god. You people are tripping. Oh my god. Get Hans-Sama. There's Patrick. Who else do you have? Upset, Hans-Sama, Patrick. They have a lot of good ADCs in EU. Holy crap. Crown Shot? I think if you're upgrading perks, hey, there's anyone. You can take anybody from the top teams and do it, honestly. That's just how I see it.
Honestly, though, no, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, the only thing I was going to say was that I think the one thing that people are overlooking is coaches. Like, I think if you look at, and this is regard to LEC, I'm surprised no NA coach would go after Dylan Falco and Young Buck.
He confirmed.
Buck went
Schalke confirmed that Dylan's staying.
Yeah, that he's staying. And which is fine. But considering that Dylan's been, produced, like, considering, like, where Schalke was, that miracle run, Young Buck, he went to a kind of a young XL team, almost prevented Fnatic from not, people don't forget, Fnatic almost didn't, they had to do a tiebreaker in order to, continue to even get in the playoffs. So, I feel like coaches are pretty undervalued, you know what I mean?
I mean, coaches are undervalued until they're literally the reason for a team turning them around. Or Reapered, Jat, those are the big two that we can kind of put on a pedestal as being like, nobody cared about who was coaching the team until they appeared and just turned the team around, like complete 180. So coaches unfortunately seem to always get the short end of the stick up until Coach of the Split award, and then everyone's like, "Oh yeah, they were great," and everyone's like, "Wait, who's this coach again? Wait, this team even had a coach? What?" It's like,
it's like people just forget that they exist unless the casters talk about them every week.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Or if the drafting is terrible, then instantly it's like, oh my god, their coach sucks.
Oh my god, the coach sucks. They didn't give them every winning lane and all strong side. Bad coach, fire him. It's like, what the hell, dude? All right, the last guy in the offseason to talk about right now, unless I'm forgetting someone, is Xmithy. Xmithy's a free agent now. So Immortals chose to not go with Xmithy for the second year on his contract, and Xmithy's a free agent. I don't really know what Xmithy wants to do. Does he become a coach now? Does he even still want to play? I don't know.
He should go back to TL.
Oh man!
That's mean.
Oh my god! What a man, dude! Oh my god! What a sneaky stole Wild Turtle's fucking plates on FlyQuest, and you got to play with Licorice again. Oh my god!
I don't think Sneaky's going to jump back into the competitive scene.
You don't think so?
I just don't see that No, he's been out for an entire split, and like when you look at the scene for ADCs right now, trying to, like, Wild Turtle played like a madman, and sure,
he did.
People can bring it
he
up.
Actually played really well.
He can be inconsistent stuff. Well, are you going to take Sneaky, who was in a decline and was inconsistent to start with at the end of his time at C9? Are you going to take him after a split of not even playing competitively, or are you going to continue forward with Wild Turtle? It's like,
or you buy FBI. If he wants
or
to
you buy FBI.
Yeah, dude, FBI played really well. He really set himself up at the end of that last TSM series they had, and with the Oceania players not counting as imports, man, dude, the sky's the limit on these players. There's some good. You mentioned there's some good players in the OPL that no one looked at, like people like Swiper. I thought he was good. There were some people decent on Legacy that was at Worlds this year for 2020. NA is gonna get a little bit better. So if NA was a 3, they became a 3.5.
Actually, there is one ADC that I think, but it's a bit of a throwaway. I could see maybe like, what was his Dignitas's ADC? I can't even remember. Like Johnson,
Yes.
Yeah.
Johnson. Yeah, I could see Dignitas being like, you know what? Get Nikki pays for himself. Come here, man. Come here. We need something. Give us the fan vote at the very least, since we can't win a game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's free. He pays for himself. You get a bunch of people buying Dignitas sneaky jerseys.
Oh my god. Hey, we already know they love to field LCS players. They had a freaking whole LCS team in their academy team. They don't give a shit about no academy. Holy crap.
Oof.
They don't give
like with the whole Smithy thing, I think he should just become a positional coach.
I agree.
He's achieved a lot. Just end that, like, go gracefully into your career. You know what I mean? Don't, like, that's why I'm a big NA fan, but that's my problem. We are recycling players that are not consistent, and like only TL and C9 are using kind of sort of using a farm system in a sense, with a mixture of rookies and veterans, and just, I don't mind him being a coach. He has great knowledge. He's had tons of. I think he would be a phenomenal jungler coach, because considering the teams he's been on and what he's done, he would do well. And in regards to the FBI thing, I think actually going into the next season, he wants to really go above and beyond, because he kind of had like the Cody Sun moment, with the whole going into the team and kind of costing the game. So I think he has a lot to prove, and not prove, but like he really wants to, like, I think he's gonna pop off this season. That's my gut feeling about FBI and Redact Guard. But in regards to Smithy, I definitely see him being a valuable asset to any team that picks him up in a coach position.
All right, so that's pretty much it for the off-season stuff right now. Ravioli, go ahead, and we'll continue to something else.
I was about to just add on the last of that. Like, he would be a good coach. His entire play style for his entire career was based heavily on fundamentals and being in the right place at the right time. Not usually a mechanical player, so he'd be a really good person to bring in. Say, if you get a young jungler.
All right,
great person to coach them.
Man, I don't know. The future of NA looks the same.
I thought it was at least warmer than room temperature. I was putting it.
Oh my god! Yeah, do you shower with cold water? Now you shower with lukewarm water. That's bad.
That's an upgrade.
Man, if you've ever gone a week straight of cold showers, lukewarm feels freaking steamy. Let me tell you.
Dude, I can back up that.
Bro, it was so
right
hot
there.
in California. I would take cold showers. That shit would be on max cold, but dry me off, man. That was the best time in the world, when I would literally sweat through my headset while playing League, and then have my Soraka go press the attack smite. Woo, man. Oh, the good days of playing League. All right, so that's pretty much it for the off-season rumors so far. If you guys know, the channel just passed 500 subscribers, so thank you to everybody who actually came and subscribed. Yeah, we're close to 1,000, boys. 500 more, and we'll hit 1,000. But I just want to say right now, before we start the next part of the podcast, is thank you to everyone who subscribed. Constant videos. Even in the off-season, we'll have podcasts, and maybe not all based in League. We'll maybe have some tier lists on anime, movies, something. I'll think of something for the off-season. But, I'm always going to be here with your off-season news. And as you know, Deku is the greatest anime protagonist of all time. But time to move on, everybody. I'm just kidding. He's not. That guy's fucking trash.
Okay. Man, this League of Legends podcast is about to go straight down.
Oh, man.
I want to say that if we do two tier lists, I want to do my tier list. Master Swag, your tier lists are in C tier. Mine are triple S tier.
Oh my god. Like, someone's gonna put like Dragon Ball Z in F tier, and I'm gonna literally just kick him out of the call. Like, were you brain dead? All right, so the 2020 World Semifinals took place this past weekend, and yeah, let's start with which one? Because let's start with G2.
Do you want to rip the yeah? It's like, do you want to rip the Band-Aid off?
All right, so to be kind of discreet, if you guys know how people get like ripped open, if you know what I'm talking about, yeah, G2 got absolutely ripped open by Damwon. It's like literally going and opening a bag of chips as fast as you can. Yeah, that was Damwon. They're the ones opening the bag of chips.
Was
now,
the last
to be fair,
time?
did we really expect anything different?
I expected them to not lose sub 20 minutes.
Okay, that last game. I'm just gonna be real. That last game was more G2 just coming to terms with the fact they were never going to win this series, and by that point, Damwon, they were just on fire. Like they could do no wrong. Every single time G2 was thinking, okay, we're gonna make a play bot side, Damwon's freaking like 200 IQ play, and they're already like, they're going to do this play bot side, and at the same time we're still going to counterattack and then go top side, and then it's just like, oh my god, guys. It was a preview of what's going to happen in the finals. If
I don't know. Suning, we're not talking about that, but I'm just going to say this. Suning has something about them. I don't know what it is. There's something about
what you said about Dragon X.
For
What happened to them?
You think we're gonna have a Taipei versus Abzulu again?
No way. Damwon's tearing apart Suning. Like
I've been in a lot of sports, right? I've watched a lot of sports over the years, and I've heard this story a lot. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I say I wouldn't be surprised if the other team showed up to play against Damwon. That's all I'm saying.
But then we got to talk about the top end, like. What does top end Suning versus top end Damwon actually look like? Because I just don't see a world in which Damwon actually. If 3 players on Damwon show up,
they can't.
It's gonna
they
have
won't.
to be GG. Like Sunning's just
call the Chinese police. Just call the Chinese police. Have Damwon mid lane jungler and top laner kidnapped. Hey, can't win worlds with 2 players. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding.
I know because we're gonna talk about that later. Because I've been watching a lot of Suning, so I'm a little bit biased. But in regards to G2, I think the problem was that they got figured out. They weren't the
G2 weren't as good as last year. G2, I kept telling people they were not good as last year. Yeah, and their drafts weren't like, you couldn't do Wonder with Pike and then like, I don't know, Mickey with Nunu, like just to throw that out there. Like you couldn't really do that with their drafts, and they started, instead of reinventing the wheel, they're just like, okay, we just need to follow what other teams are doing instead. So, and I feel like, I don't know, like people talk about Caps. I think Caps is I look at Caps like Peyton Manning until he can win like Worlds. He's great when it comes to, I mean, MSI. I'm mixed opinions about MSI. He's great in EU, but he's just like, I don't know, just halfway. Like that's my opinion. I can definitely argue that, but I just feel as if G2 got figured out and they realized that there's other teams out there that can compete with them, and that's the way it works. Like just like how it took 3 years for teams to figure out Korea, it's just they just got figured out. So for me, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
No, the Canadian in me is saying that
no, go! Go! Just kidding.
Fine. Okay. G2 versus Damwon. Yes, it was a stomp. I personally put it more to the fact that Wonder just got tilted off the face of the earth and after game 1. Like GP versus Renekton. That was just
legend has it, Caps is still waiting for Kenyon to farm the Crocs.
Yeah. Like it felt so bad because you could see what they were planning on setting up for.
Yeah.
Renekton in the top side, you just bring in the jungler, you constantly dive the GP pre-6, and even after 6, once he uses an ult, you continue to dive him, you just keep him the hell down. Instead, by the end of the game, he was 4-0-12. Like, if that doesn't tilt someone, I don't know what does. And they just capitalized that over and over and over again. Game 2, they kind of rebounded, but then game 3, 1-3-3.
Mhm.
Game 4, 0-5-1. Like, Wonder just got demolished. And Damwon just had this ability to read where G2 was playing weak
Mhm.
and just exploit the ever-living crap out of it to an extent that terrifies pretty much everyone, even the casters. Like, but I remember at the point in the game they like started to try and do the caster thing, which is like, let's see if we can make a little hope, make it seem like G2 could come back. And it was like 17 minutes into game 4,
Oh my
and they're
God.
like, all right, G2's they're still making plays
Oh.
and coming around. And it was about 17 minutes in, and they're just like, they got a tower. That's something.
they got a team fight.
G2 still got life. They're not dead.
They were literally they were literally trying to find ways to like cover up the fact that this was an enormous shit stomp. All the way to the point when G2 was literally losing their base in game 4. Like they're still fighting, and then they swap to. I guess no one could have seen this coming. Was what they swapped to when they couldn't do that anymore.
What was the meme what was the meme where it said G2 lost in the fastest game in world's history, and the Fnatic got reverse swept for the first team in world's history, breaking all the records in the wrong one?
Yeah.
I still think my favorite is the G2 big brain play. You can't get 3-0'd in the finals if you're not in the finals.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
let's
No,
go.
for me personally, I didn't think they were as good as last year. I know Perks and the players on the team had said it. Like, I could see that they were not as good as last year. If you're literally not Iron, you could literally see they weren't as good as last year. But
No, they weren't.
But I also have to think about the other things that was going on with G2. They were not as creative in their drafts as they were. You also had the fact of the matter of Damwon were wait, I heard myself on someone's side. Was that? Okay. So for Damwon specifically, I think Damwon actually has been the best team throughout the whole event. Like, I know a lot of people had Top Esports as the best team throughout the event. No, Damwon's been stomping everybody. Damwon's just been completely blowing people out. You know, and like, if you looked at Damwon and you looked at Top and you still chose Top, it's understandable. But remember, experience placed in this. These players had been to Worlds already before. They had gone through their hurdles before. They also had been mastering a playstyle that they weren't even able to be good at before, because like most of Damwon, from what I saw, they would always consistently not play with each other. They would always kind of just play by themselves. And now with them playing together, Kanye's always making really timed well invades. Even if his laners all die in their own lanes, he's still getting dragons. You also have Ghost and Barrel also making plays on the bot side of the map where they're setting up dives consistently. Naguri's been one of the best top laners at the event. Showmaker, he has an issue where I think that maybe that's how Suning can beat Damwon in the series, is if like Showmaker gives up early game. He's been giving up early game like solo kills. The right team can punish that. Is that going to be Suning? Wasn't going to be G2. I personally think that the bot lane situation with G2, like, it showed all the bad points people highlighted last year, but Perks overperformed last year. So the bad points about G2's bot lane were, what's that word? Outshunned by how well they did last year, because people knew that Perks wasn't a great ADC. Like, I know he peaked at the World's 2019 Championship last year, but like, he wasn't really ever a great ADC. And I think it showed in the series, when him not being a great ADC, you finally got a chance to face Ghost, and Ghost destroyed him. I mean, they were doing the bot lane dives that weren't working. Everything just wasn't working. I mean, people could chalk it up to it just wasn't their day, but like, I didn't even predict G2 to win this series, and I'm one of their fans, so that should tell you something, you know. But what about everybody else?
I think from my perspective, like, the hard truth is that everybody said Ghost was the weak link on Damwon. Like, all the other 4 players are really top 20 players, in my opinion. But Ghost just outshined Perks, and I think Perks has time and time again said he wanted to go mid, and I don't want to harp back on like Perks leaving G2 in that kind of sense, but I just feel like Perks, and especially Mickey X in the bot lane this series, hasn't shown up. I think Beryl did a great job, and I think Ghost did an even better job of showing what an ADC can do. That's just the difference. It's like and all the other lanes couldn't carry, and just bot lane wasn't showing up that day. So
Yeah, Mickey X also didn't play that well in the series. Mickey X, Core JJ, and Hillsang were the best Western supports at the tournament. And Mickey X, it sucks for G2 that their best player was playing poorly in that series. It was like, oh, really? Now he's playing bad? All right, there's no hope here. And like in the press conference, Perks is just laughing his ass off. I tried so hard not to laugh because I saw Caps' face and he was just so down. Like Yankos underperformed the event. Like it was very, very abundant that Yankos was underperforming. And I think the best players on G2 were Wonder and Mickey X. And if those two guys who are also like Suedo carries in and of itself in G2 from the time they've had this roster, if they're not carrying, I mean, like they're going to be destroyed. And you saw like LCK come back to form. And now hopefully that freaking myth of the LEC better than the LCK can go away because that's just stupid. All the LCK teams, well, the LCK teams all top their group. Damwon top their group. Genji top their group. Dragon X even got second. And even last year, all the LCK teams top their group. And I just don't think that the LEC is better than the LCK. I've never thought that. G2 was better than certain LCK teams. G2 was, but that's not the whole of the LEC, though. I think people are confusing the two. They probably think like, oh, well, G2's from Europe, so that means Europe's better than Korea. No. That's not how that works, though. That's if you had two other teams that could do what G2 did, sure. Okay, maybe you have an argument there. No, just one anomaly team doesn't make them better than the LCK, but...
Yeah, it's just like G2 was such an anomaly in their region that you can't, like you said, you can't apply it to all the other teams. It's like looking at like how in North America, Cloud9 is a team in North America that likes to bring up talent and promote from within, right?
Yeah.
That's like saying, okay, since they do that, the entire region does it. No, they don't. That's the problem.
Yeah. Just because they're from North America doesn't mean they do the exact same thing as each other.
Yeah, exactly.
But overall,
on the topic of
no, yeah, sorry, I was trying to
just LEC versus LCK as well.
Yes,
people do ignore the bottom end, and frankly speaking, I've never once seen a LCK team that I think would lose, even at the bottom of their bracket, that would lose against the bottom tier LEC teams. Just
right.
With Europe and North America, there's such a gap between the bottom teams and the top teams. Like it's insanity.
Mm-hmm.
There is basically no reason that like a Team Liquid, TSM, Cloud9 would normally lose against Dignitas. It's like 100 to 1 kind of odds. In the LCK, it has always been competitive. And whenever you watch it, it's like, yeah,
no, you're right,
the top
dude.
teams are controlling and beat the crap out of the lower tier teams. But then when the lower tier teams have a good day, they can absolutely take
like Hanwha Life. Hanwha Life is garbage.
Exactly. No, 100%. And so it's always amazing to me when people are like, "Oh yeah, Europe's gonna be like knock Korea out as number 2 in the world." It's like no.
That's just so those Korea EU fanboys got that G2 and Fnatic cock so far down their throat it's dangling on their fucking mouth, dude. Oh my god, man. Like, I get it. People can like dick ride the Asia players, but they've earned that. And you're not even dick riding. How is it dick riding if you're objectively acknowledging good gameplay? That's not mutually exclusive. Like last year, I can admit some people were kind of biased in how the way they looked at G2, but G2 were the anomaly. And like I even called it out last year. I was like, that's unfair how G2 can win the past first international event of the year and people don't have them like at least second or first place winning the event, but it's power rankings. That's how all that stuff goes. But for LEC fans to think that they're better than the LCK, no, like they've literally won almost all the world championships. Are we like, come on, like that's a little too crazy here. I don't care about season 1 worlds. That doesn't count to me. That does not count to me. It counts to nobody. And if you're gonna be technical, it's not even called the Summoner's Cup. So I don't want to get real technical, but any Fnatic, I know I have Fnatic fans who watch. Season 1 Worlds doesn't count. Stop bringing it up to me. No one cares.
No, yeah, it doesn't count.
The dog on the street doesn't care. The crackhead doesn't care. Nobody on Reddit cares about fucking Season 1 Worlds when nobody was barely playing the game. Oh, great. You won Worlds when no one cared about the game. Oh my god. Congrats, man. Congrats.
We barely had junglers in Season 1 Worlds.
You barely had Koreans because they didn't have a server.
I think the problem is that when Fnatic got to the finals, the narrative by the and this is a byproduct of the LEC broadcast. They really have some bias commentary sometimes, and I and I and LCS does it too, but they like kind of overhype them. I even remembered when it was the finals of FPX and G2. The whole They're like, oh, G2's taking it. Jat was the only one that was like, nope, I got FPX winning. And like, if you look at it, even just historically, right? G2 until what was it, 2020? Because 2018, like
2016
G2 was
they bombed out of
actually
groups.
this
2017 they bombed out of
never
groups.
get. They were like a TSM meme. They were not getting out groups. They would have this great team, and until they like they were a meme. It was like it was really only Fnatic, and then just recently G2. Like just look at the example of Rogue and Mad Lions. They underperformed, and they had all this hype behind them. You know,
I don't know where
granted,
the Rogue hype come. Where did that Rogue hype came from? Rogue is garbage.
Well,
Rogue is not good. As much as they hyped him up,
I'm gonna go to bat for Rogue because their top end play, when everybody is performing, it is amazing to watch, and that's kind of where the hype comes from. Rogues is just such a fun team to watch when they're performing.
Yeah.
Like they just do the craziest crap. It's like it's basically you clone Wild Turtle, but you put them in every single lane and you've got Rogues. Like that is the way that I would describe them. No, they were never going to win Worlds, but at the same time, I think that when they play at their best, they were definitely a competitive team. So I defend them from that. What I do want to get on is actually the more competitive match, and for me, the really exciting match, which was Sunning versus Top Esports.
Oh my god,
because that was freaking insane.
Thank you, Suning. Thank you, Suning, for ruining my pick'ems. Thank you.
I just want to point out something with Suning and Top. The fact that they have Karsa is from the LMS, and Sword Art is from the LMS, and these players have historically been the world, and I think they're not even getting looked at. Like, granted, Karsa lost, but I think LMS should be looked at as something that should start being really looked at how they're performing, considering their look with the Cinderella run basically of Sunning and Karsa. If you look at him, he's been every team he's been on, from RNG now to Top. He's been to a pretty good run at Worlds and international play.
It's not LMS anymore. It's called the PCS. But I do get what you're saying.
Considered right up, in my honest opinion.
Oh, so I'm sorry to correct you, but it's PCS now. But overall, no, I agree. Karsa has been a really solid jungler for a very long time. He's always playing faster pace. He's always a player that wants to get the tempo of the game going, which I think is good. I think on a team like RNG, he was slightly held back by always having to play around Uzi, but I mean, if Uzi's your ADC, you're always going to play around Uzi. I think that for Suning versus Top Esports, I really like that Suning could show us that they could play through more players consistently. I think Ben has been one of the best top laners at the event so far. I think Angel has become a really solid mid laner. S1E11 and Canyon are the best junglers at the event. You could also argue Selfmade and Karsa were in there as well. And Jackie Love made a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes this series, flashing over the wall, healing, dying, giving over Elder Soul consistently. Now, Sword Art to me was getting caught out consistently as well, and I think that's going to get punished in their final series against Damwon. Like, the way Sword Art were playing, he just really didn't show me that he was actually able to handle, maybe it was nerves, I could chalk up to that, but he was playing off. Huan Fang against Jackie Love was pretty even, all things considered, until, the game 4. I think in game 4, Top had a chance to come back with their Dragon Soul, but they ended up losing a team fight. They were losing every single team fight, though. I think the casters were consistently overhyping a lot of the moments that Top could come back, because there might have been some Top bias, because they maybe had Top in their pick'ems or thought Top was going to win Worlds. But other than that, I think Suning showed us that, they're a team that can be really strong without S1E11, because the narrative around S1E11 is that, and Suning is that he's the only part about their team that can carry. It's not true. Angel can carry, and Ben can carry effectively. You could put Ben on Orin, and he's like 1v9ing as if he was like Jax, which he did play Jax in the series at some point.
I was literally about to say, like, SOFM and Ben were just in that series. I literally had my jaw dropped by their performances. So many, like, not only did they put on the carry shoes, they put on the carry pants, the carry shirts, they put on the entire team carry uniform and just went to town on top esports. And like after game 1, the casters were like, oh, it's fine. You know, we got Jackie Love, we got 369, we got like players who historically can just absolutely take over games. Like, yeah, Sunning got in it was basically the narrative of like, you know what, Sunning got their uppercut in.
Yeah.
And, you know, they dazed top esports a little bit, but it's fine. Top are well used to 5-game series and can go the distance and everything. But man, they looked rattled after that first game. And Ben and SOFM were the reason for that. They just Wukong and Lee Sin in the first game just took top to Pound Town, and by the end of the game, I literally look at the players and they're like, "Yo, coach, this wasn't in the itinerary. It says that Sunning is supposed to be like, you know, 3rd in their region, and you know, not competitive whatsoever. So why the hell is their jungler and top laner literally just smashing us?"
I've honestly watched
SOFM.
Dude, I've honestly watched SOFM since he was on what's it called, Snake Gaming, Snake Esports, something like that. He's been an amazing jungler for a long time. It's just so crazy how he never got to Worlds. And I think when you look at the LPL, people got to kind of factor this in. They were like 3rd, right? But then they also lost to IG, who had Rookie and the Shy, and the second place team was, man, who was the second place team? I forgot their name. It was Top. So you're also losing to other world-class teams. So I think them being 3rd is not a byproduct of them being bad. It's just that the other 2 teams are just vastly better players at that current moment in time. But or even JDG were also really competitive. So I really liked how they've been evolving throughout the tournament. And it's kind of sad that it's going to all end come this Saturday.
I don't know. Here's the thing. Like you were saying, there's just something about Suning. They just give me this vibe. You know, like sometimes you watch
said that about Dragon X too.
You know, Sunny kind of reminds me of like how the Giants how the Giants did that season where they just came out of nowhere and like, oh,
beat
the
the 07 Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it just feels like I feel like that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I know. That's the feeling I'm getting too.
Right when you guys
here's the problem.
When you guys come back next week,
I don't think this can happen.
I was gonna say too. Yeah, go ahead.
This is why I don't think it can happen. The only reason, and this is, people are gonna be like, "Oh, that's not true. Sunning is like a phenomenal team." I don't think that they're a bad team, but they had the advantage of scrimming and playing against top esports a lot from what we hear. And versus Damwon's a different beast entirely. And it's just, I don't see a world in which Sunning can win 3 games of a 5-game series. Could they take 1 or 2 games off of them with like shock tactics or like unexpected
cheese level 1 strats that have been the great thing about Worlds? Yeah, absolutely.
But Damwon is like, this isn't even like the Giants like coming out of nowhere. Sunning we knew was going to be a good team. Did we expect them to be as good? No. But I don't see a world where Sunning wins everything. I see a world where maybe they take 1 or 2 games, but you guys would have to do a lot to convince me that Donovan's gonna lose in the finals.
So as we are transitioning to talking about the very last series of the year, Worlds 2020 Finals is here, guys. Suning Gaming versus Damwon Gaming. So we were having this discussion yesterday when I was out of town, and my argument for Damwon, they're in my pick'em, so I gotta fight for them, guys, is they have, so you look at Suning, right? I think everything Suning is good at, which is kind of only one playstyle for really, really being super technical. Damwon can play multiple different playstyles. And when you look at the players one by one, I know it's not the best way to look at overall gameplay. So you look at Bin and Naguri, pretty even there, right? SOFM is Suning's best player. That's not disputable. Against Canyon, Canyon can take him. Then you look at Angel versus Showmaker. Showmaker can take Angel. Then you look at Ghost versus Huanfeng. Ghost can take on Huanfeng. Then you have Barrel versus Swordart, which I think lobs it into Damwon's favor because I think Barrel is better. So everybody on Suning is pretty good in their position, except Swordart. I think he's kind of not been playing that great, in my own personal opinion. But I think everyone on Damwon can match Suning and can be better in other scenarios too. Like we've seen them in other different comps play exactly how the comp's supposed to be played, and they're also consistently taking objectives. You even see some of the Damwon players lose, and then Kenyon's over here taking Dragon when no one's even looking or checking for it. I think SOFM is all based in ganks and mechanical outplays and invading, while Canyon is more based on the macro gameplay of it and trying to really facilitate what laners he's going to play through. Also, I personally think that SOFM, hey, my issue with him the only issue, he's never really been solidified in what lane he wants to play in. Like, Canyon knows instantly when Naguri's winning, he's babysitting Naguri. Canyon knows when Showmaker is winning, he's instantly babysitting Showmaker. If Canyon sees the bot lane ready for a dive, he's instantly there. SOFM is all based in, invades and getting objectives, which is perfectly fine. But I think that against Damwon, it's more faster pace, and you're also dealing with other world-class players that can match all of his players. Every single player on Damwon can match all the Suning players, and in most cases, outperform them, depending on draft. Do I think Suning can take a game? Sure. Do you guys think I can date Scarlett Johansson? That's probably not going to happen, right? But you guys think it's gonna happen? I love you guys then. You guys are great people.
Maybe. You gotta get in the room with her first.
Oh, yeah. Oh, damn! Throwing shade? Holy shit, what did I do to you? Oh my god.
No, that's not shade. I'm saying.
It's accidental shade, man. It's accidental.
Like, maybe they might cast me to play Spider-Man. Maybe life is gonna give me lemonades and I make, like, freaking soda. But I just don't think Suning is going to win. I think it's going to be a 3-0 anyway. I think Damwon are just a better team.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't see 3-0. I really think Suning, if anything, I've been looking throughout the entire season, and the meme this season was like, top lane's not important. Top lane's determined the drafts for most of these games. And the thing that I really think is going to come down to Bin. Honestly, it's really going to come down to Bin.
Mm-hmm.
I think for a rookie, 18, worlds, a lot of pressure. He's doing phenomenal. No one, like, considering going into the groups, going against Zoom, and then going up against 369. Like, I really think the kid's going to do well. I don't think they can beat them 5v5, but I think if they basically decide to, like, kind of 1-3-1 and skirmish, I think that's the way they can beat them, because I will agree, I think Damwon's team fight is better. But skirmishing, that's where I'm a little bit not. If SOFM can, like, do his thing and they can get picks, that's how I see Damwon winning, because their objective control is pretty good. So I think it's going to come down to, like, side lane, Bin carrying from the top lane. Considering if I looked at the guy's champ pool, he's played 9 different champions this tournament. That's crazy for a rookie.
Yeah.
Like, that's you're like, normally coach is like, you know what, kid, you're playing these 4 and that's it, because we want to win. So they have they have a lot of confidence in this kid.
Yeah, but, like, top lane, Bin versus Nugri, like, Bin is arguably one of the most important players on Sunning, and if they are going to skirmish, I do expect Bin to be at the forefront of a lot of those skirmishes. But, like, I just don't see... I don't want to say top gap, but, like, it has been a long time since we've seen... Like, even... There was a couple games during groups where Nuguri just got camped to high hell, where people are like, no, we're going top, we're going to get our top laner ahead, and we don't care what we have to throw at him. And it didn't matter. So the only reason that I don't see Sunning not being more competitive is just because even in their skirmish, even if we only take like 2 or 3 of the players from each team and just randomly throw them against each other, there is so very rarely a matchup that I am confident in saying, yeah, Sunny can take that. It's always just like that. My consensus every single time is just, yeah, no, that's not a fight I would take. That's still not a fight I would take. That's not a fight I would take. Nope,
Yeah.
still not fighting there. Still
Like,
no.
Like, to build on your point, I think skirmishes is very important in terms of the support play, and I think the support gap between the finals is huge. I think Barrow is probably the best, if not the second best support in the entire tournament, and it's nothing against Sword Art, but even against the series against Top, he repeatedly got caught, and a lot of those times when he got caught, it put Suning into a bad position, right?
Mhm.
So I think in terms of a skirmish game, Barrow's always there first, and he's able to perform well. And if Sword Art keeps getting caught, I just don't see them having a successful skirmish in that kind of aspect. So if we're talking about the skirmish game, I just have to give it to Damwon.
I also personally.
I mean,
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it. No, it's all good.
No. You go.
Fine.
Dang
Okay.
it.
In the perfect world, if Sunning can get Sword Out online, then maybe they can start getting enough roams and enough small skirmishes between Sword Art, Angel, and SOFM against maybe like, I don't even know who would, let's say Ghost, and maybe Showmaker. If they can start to get like, they can pick off basically Showmaker and Ghost at the exact same time with 3 of them and not manage to all die, I could see them maybe making something of it consistently. But Showmaker and even, oh man, I just, there's no gap that I can think of. There's really no point where I'm just like looking at Damwon's roster and just going, yeah, that's an area that Sunning can punish. Like that's a real weak point right there. It's just like, no.
I just really don't see it either, man. I like, even if I really take out just not even the drafting, even in the drafting phase against Top was pretty questionable too. And a lot of the picks they took, and a lot of the picks they banned are not going to be really a problem for Damwon, unless you're just giving over permanently weak side champions and certain roles that obviously you could to pretty much round out the draft. I've only really seen Sword Art thrive on like Tom Kinch. His Bard that's pretty questionable right there. What are the other supports in the tournament? Leona, he played that okay. So like I'm looking at the other players on Damwon to really just be the deciding factor to it. I think Naguri has shown that he can go toe to toe with the best. Showmaker's been one of the better mid laners in the tournament. Also, if Showmaker does give up early game kills to Angel, that could be a problem too, because he's been doing that throughout the world so far, but you know, it's not even been a factor as the reason why they've even lost a game. The only games they've lost were one against G2 and one against JDG. And even the games they lost, they were also pretty competitive games. Like, they were literally winning team fights being down 5,000 gold. If you see Suning down 5,000 gold, I don't see them winning team fights, and I don't see them coming back into series. But, you know, nevertheless, anything could happen. So I'm predicting Damwon 3-0. What do you guys got for them? And we'll close out for the night.
I got Damwon 3-2.
There you go. He wants the silver scrapes. He wants the silver scrapes.
No, it's silver scrapes. I like my heart's telling me Suning, but my brain's telling me Damwon. You know what I mean? I just think Suning has been so fun to watch, and I really hope they at least make it a series. But you know, that's, if they wanted to win, it's going to require things out of their control, like Damwon just playing poorly.
Okay.
I have, and this is going to sound really hot take, I have Suning 3-1.
There you go. Oh, there you go. So that way, his pick'ems have Damwon. He's just saying it right now, just in case. I'm just kidding.
Yo, if Suning wins, know that I was with him.
Oh, shit. All right. Zen, and then we can close out.
I think it's Damwon 3-1.
Okay, so that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. We just hit 500 subscribers. Thank you guys so much, actually. We'll see you here next week for more off-season news and who will be the 2020 World Championship winner. This is the last series of 2020, this horrible, hell-filled, burning year that I want over already. But yeah, see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. I'm the Nightwing, and Way of Life Esports is signing out, guys. Peace. Have a good day.